Hello, I'm Henry T. And because of this internet, man, hello to Sweden, Australia, Russia. How you guys doing? Man, puts the heat on Henry T when I think Japan's watching today. Woo! I love what I do. And therefore, every time I get ready to come in this show, the Hydra Bar, and I have somebody like I have today, and today, in honor of this special guest, I wear Sandia red and Lobo red. Pretty close in color, But this guy never left the field as a high school player, and a good thing they specialize in college because he was an offensive player, but he could play anything on that offense. Maybe not be a lineman, but I'll tell you what, a skilled player, deluxe. He could quarterback, he could wide receive. They had him in the slot. They had him wide out. He could be in the wildcat, especially because this guy could throw. And when it really comes down to it, I evaluate players I broadcast in the past. To me, one of the top 2 or 3 high school athletes I ever broadcast in New Mexico athletics. From Sandia High School. You go, oh, and this is where Mike Carter went, Henry T. Then who's this guy you have? Ooh, Mike never went both ways, I don't think. This guy did. Remember Michael Scarlett Jr.? Ooh, my goodness. What a memory. And he's with us today to talk about his fabulous career. It's great to have you here, former Matador.
Hey, from Matador to Matador, man. Thanks for having me.
Former Lobo great. Jeez.
It's it's been crazy, man. The last 10 years of my life, growing up, you play football starting at 8 years old. Now it's 6. But from 8 to 22, that's all I knew was football and baseball and basketball and sports like that. And to be here today with you, when you hit me up a couple weeks ago, hey, do you want to be on my show? I was like, of course. I don't win and where. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for the kind words. It's insane to kind of have this thing come full circle. Now I'm a dad, a daughter who's 6.
Wow.
I'm married to my beautiful bride, Rebecca, who's been an amazing stepmom to my daughter. And, I'm in my professional career now, and I kind of take that mentality, that sports mentality, to my professional career.
So articulate all those years. High grade point average, hard worker, work ethic that was, man, over the top. Great family that you came from. I met your dad, fell in love with your parents immediately. And there's one night, believe it or not, his dad, a military man, big time. I mean, one of the administrators of wartime. On a Friday night, his dad's going to war. The next day, Saturday morning, 4 a.m. or something like that.
Something crazy.
He stopped by my booth, and by invitation, I said, would you do the game with me? Your son's on the field tonight. You say bye to your son tomorrow morning at 4 a.m., but you get to watch him tonight. Only this time, you're going to watch him from my vantage point in the booth at Wilson Stadium. And we're watching Michael play. He's running all over the field, throwing, running, and then intercepting passes. Had one of the greatest games of your high school career because you knew in your heart your dad was watching you for the last time. You wouldn't see him for about 4 years or so. And that connection of love was amazing.
Yeah, my dad's from small town Oklahoma, Clinton, Oklahoma. Probably one of the best high schools in Oklahoma for football. I almost transferred there to play there, but I ended up staying here. Originally grew up in the Highland area, and then transferred to Sandia to play for Barker. But that night was special just because of everything, going on. Got to play against my teammate. That would be my teammate. Nicky Lawson was on the Manzano squad, and Metzger. What was his name? Anyways, he was a running back for Manzano as well. But That night was crazy because, yeah, he was getting ready to leave. Football brings our family together. It brings a lot of people's families together. Unfortunately, this time during COVID, we don't have football going on right now. But there's one play that I scored. It was like a 60 or 70 yard touchdown, just a fade. The ball kind of was overthrown, and I tipped it back to myself and took off. And that was pretty much the last big play my dad saw here. But yeah, it's crazy to think about. Now he's back, he's retired, hanging out. He's got his Harley Davidson bike, and he's taking care of my mom and my brother Jacob. So
wow,
he's doing well. He's retired. So
he's sitting to my right side, and I'm usually in control of the broadcast. I'm describing you running down the field, and he starts screaming. You couldn't hear Henry T's voice. He was so fired up.
I probably forgot where he was at, because honestly, I don't think he's ever done live broadcasting before, and let alone him not really being filtered. I don't know how he did it, but I would love to hear the video or the recording of that game.
Well, he did the whole play-by-play of you running for 80 yards. I lost control because he was so pumped as a dad. And I remember before he left, and we talked about him leaving for war the next morning, and tears started running down his face. I lost it. I couldn't hold mine back.
Right.
Because it was such a moment.
Right. No, he's such a, the hardcore, he doesn't really show emotion. But when he does, it really hits you because, he is human. He's not G.I. Joe. I mean, he's my hero, So
yeah,
for him to do that with you is an honor for all of us because, we're going to have that clip. We're going to have that recording forever,
Yeah.
And so hopefully soon I have a little boy, but we're working on it. But, my daughter Piper can listen to all the recordings that you've done and just kind of pass that down to my kids.
What a moment in my career, though. I just want to share that with you. That's the top 2 moments of my broadcast career. And I'm not sure which moment tops that, because that's as dramatic as it gets right there.
Couldn't write it.
You don't know if you're going to see your dad again.
No, that's another thing. The whole situation, to be honest, Henry, when you're 16, 17 years old, and first off, I think it was a Tribune that did a story on us. And then the Albuquerque Journal did one, and then CBS News, national news story, came and did something. And that kind of helped not only tell everybody about our story, but it helped in my recruiting process too.
Really?
After that, a lot of letters started to come in.
Wow.
I started getting noticed a little bit more. But, 10, 15 years ago, we didn't have Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff.
That would have been lead story on all of the above.
It's definitely a different time for recruiting for kids. I mean, you can do pretty much everything on your own now. So for me, with my abilities on the field, and actually my mom helping me out with the classroom stuff, because there's been some classes where I had to retake at night school, to be quite honest with you.
Join the team, man.
But my parents, I was very blessed to have 2 supporting parents that really did everything they could, from littling on up for, driving me to practices to getting me new cleats and a new baseball glove if I needed it. And I don't think I would have been able to get through all of that without them, obviously, because I didn't have the money or, I couldn't drive myself up until, my junior high school. So I was very lucky to have them as my parents.
Now you go on after a great high school career. He goes on to be a Lobos star. And we were sharing some of the highlights of you as a Lobo. I used to love just to go broadcast television at Provo, where they have 80,000 fans in the stands. I was there one Saturday with Steve Young.
Oh, yeah.
On the field.
He's on the side of the building.
Yeah. And he quarterbacked against our Lobos, and it was a close game, good game. And I'm in the middle of it just doing my feature work. But what a magnificent place it is on game day. And you got to experience on that beautiful green grass. What's it like at Provo?
Well, that's where I started my first collegiate game and got my first pass, actually. 80,000 of the nicest fans. I actually miss the old Mountain West. conference, to be honest with you. We were strong. When we played BYU, I think they're ranked like 9 or something. They were top 10, definitely.
Yeah.
But, with Rockies teams, we played everybody tough. Didn't matter if you were number 1 or 150. We're going to play you tough. And we went down there, and we had them, man. We had them until the fourth quarter, and we lost. I believe we lost by like 10 points or so. But
High-scoring game.
yeah, our offense was awesome. The offense coordinator at the time, Dave Baldwin, I loved his offense. He kind of, I played quarterback in high school. I went to UNM, played some receiver, and he let me throw the ball a few times on some reverse passes and things like that. But I played inside, outside receiver, made myself versatile. There's 4 positions at receiver, and if you want to play, you got to know all positions because it makes you that much better, So
Not only he's a humble man. Let me get carried away here. He never left the field. He played running back one play. Next, they go into the huddle. Next time he's out, he's the quarterback. Then all of a sudden they come out of the huddle, and he's way out there at wide out. And then he's in the wildcat. Plus, he's a defender. Interception here, run back here for a touchdown, return punts. What else? Were you homecoming king too?
No, man. I ran, didn't win. I ran, but I really loved high school. It was fun, Coach Barker and the staff there. We're really good friends right now. Obviously, they pushed me hard, and in a good way.
Yeah.
They challenged me. I think if I had a coach in high school that just kind of let me go and do whatever I wanted, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you right now.
And then I'll never forget a game that I broadcast at Mayfield, Field of Dreams.
Field of Nightmares.
Right before the game starts, the clock goes out. Oh, no, what are we going to do, postpone the game? No. The guy in one of the referees said, I got a Timex, let's use it.
We shouldn't have played that game.
You were in trouble.
We shouldn't have played that game.
You need the clock.
Well, you can't play football without a clock.
And then the last 5 seconds of the game, controversy. What, you're at the 1-yard line?
Yeah, Darius is at quarterback. I'm at receiver. And I think we scored twice, Henry. We scored twice, man. And you know what? Let's back up. Leading up to this point. So we went 10-2 my senior year.
Wow.
Probably the best Sandia team to not win a state championship. We lost our first game to Mayfield, or to Las Cruces, excuse me. But in that game, we blocked the field goal, right? We block it. We're celebrating. The play's still alive because the ball never crossed the line of scrimmage. So they pick it up and score a touchdown. They win the game.
Oh, my goodness.
So we lost to Las Cruces on the last play of the game. Then we go on a roll, win 10 straight. We beat Highland in the last second or so, and they got seeded before us in the playoffs. I don't know how that happened because you beat somebody, you should be seated above them, right?
Who were their stars?
Highland, they had Daniel Jurgensen, who was a returning receiver specialist. He ran one back on us. Jamil Wilson, he was a big running back / linebacker / D lineman. And these are guys I played Yaffle with because I was supposed to go to Highland. Tim Medina was our quarterback. Tony McCoy was a running back. Greg Mallory was another.
Big names.
Yeah, these guys were.
I remember them well.
They were stacked. And, when we played Highland, that was kind of like my homecoming game and Darius's homecoming game and John Washington because we were supposed to go to Highland. And we all transferred to Sandia. So I know between the two coaches there was some of this, but that's football, man. And I'm glad I went to Sandia. Again, I have special bonds with a lot of those guys. We were a senior-driven team. I think there was 22 seniors. So from the Las Cruces game when we lost, we haven't lost again until we played Mayfield in November.
Man, on a roll.
And that was a state championship game because Mayfield went and played Alamogordo and beat the brakes off of them. So it should have been Sandia. If we got seated above the teams we were supposed to be, we probably should have been playing here at University Stadium for the state championship.
Yeah.
One day I'm going to be on that New Mexico board. I'm going to make sure it's fair. You got a lot of 16, 17, 18-year-old kids that work really hard. My sophomore year when I started varsity, we got beat up. 22 seniors that we had my senior year, we paid our dues, if you will. Sophomore year wasn't too good. Junior year was a little bit better. And then our senior year is when we kind of shined, right? And so I want to get on the board for the NMAA somehow and fix that. I don't like how, okay, let's say you're Sandia and you're playing against Cleveland, right? Let's say you're playing Cleveland. The last time you played Cleveland, you were at Wilson Stadium. And this time we should play at Cleveland for the playoff game. It shouldn't be like that. It should be what you're doing now. How's your schedule, strength of schedule? That's how it should be done. It shouldn't be go retroactive or whatever they do.
Top seed stays home,
Yeah.
or has this choice of stadium.
And it doesn't make any sense, you know. And going back to that Mayfield game, we played a game without a clock, Henry.
I remember.
Couldn't see. So it was like, hey, you know, I was playing quarterback, and you'd ask the ref, hey, what's the time? And they would tell you, like, I feel like they were making it up, to be honest. But that last drive, we didn't have a clock to see set up the play, you know? Like, they could tell you have a minute.
Strategy.
There's a lot of strategy, especially within 2 minutes. That's why they call it the 2-minute drill. You know what I mean? You got to know the scenario, and it's hard to not know the scenario when you don't have a play clock. Everybody in the practice field has a play clock, right? Like
Nobody in the stadium actually knew the time, but one person.
the referee.
The referee with his watch.
Well, I don't even know how you call a game without a clock.
Impossible.
You know?
Incomplete pass.
I don't know, man.
Stop the clock.
There's I call it the field of nightmares just because we should have won that game, and we already had everybody against us before we even started playoffs.
So you're at the 1 yard line at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Take it from there.
We get in twice. I think we threw it the first play, and then third and fourth play, Darius gets over, and they still didn't call a touchdown. Another play that comes up, and I think Barker sent it in to get reviewed, is it was like in the second quarter or something. We're within their 5 yard line, and I run a little bootleg, and I stretch the ball over the goal line, and my knee hits the ground, and the ball comes out, and they call it a fumble. Like, my knee's clearly on the ground. Woo! Yeah, those are just nightmare plays, man. But, you know, I really enjoyed playing for Coach Barker, and then having my guy, Darius Jackson, as my quarterback / running back / linebacker. You know, we did everything together. And the other guys that were on the team, really, we had just all played together.
At
you know?
reunions, you get together and share notes about that game?
Yeah, you know, we do, but we also talk about the good times as far as just the bus trips and, you know, the team dinners at Dion's over here.
Yeah.
Just
Well, like
hanging
they
out.
say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Adversity hit early on in my life, you know,
Yeah.
with that. So, knowing what I know now, if I can go back, especially my college years, is to just put more energy into it, honestly. I think as a football player, I should have been in that film room a lot more than I really was. And so I'll be 32 in November, believe it or not.
That's
And
amazing.
just looking back, I mean, I could have done extra workouts. I could have done things to kind of prevent my injuries because I've had 2 ACL surgeries in college. And it humbles you real quick, especially after that first injury. When you're in a Division I program, there's always guys, right? There's a lot of numbers in that room. So I had to earn my spot back. Tore my ACL in the spring going into my junior year. So it was at the spring scrimmage. And I can remember just hearing a pop and not really knowing what happened. So I went to the sideline. Hey, Doc, this is what happened. You know, they told me, well, are you walking? You okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing all right. So I went back out, and I just fell like somebody shot me, like a deer. You know, a deer just falls over.
Wow.
And then we went in the locker room, and they said, you know what, I think it's your ACL. And so, mind you, I already redshirted. This was my 4th year, really, in the program. And I just had to go get surgery and come back. So did the whole rehab thing, started running in 3 months. I was in that training facility a lot. You know, after class, I'd be in there working with Craig and Doc Binder, and they got me back. I ended up starting the last 6 games of my junior year.
Gee.
which was tough because I had a reconstructed knee, right? So once you get
How much speed did you lose?
a lot, I actually gained a lot of weight because I wasn't running that much, obviously, but I was lifting a lot of weights, and so I got up to about 210, and I came in to the program at 175.
Wow.
And I left there like 210. So
What was it like playing for Rocky?
I loved it, man. I committed to him really early on. This was about the time when my dad was getting ready to go over to Iraq, and didn't take any other visits. I remember my dad coming back for training for a week to hang out, and we took a visit to go see Rocky and the staff during the summer, and I left the building and I said, hey, I want to be a Lobo. I've always been a Lobo. So I really believed in what the program they had set in place and where they were going, and I got a taste of 2 seasons with Rocky and the staff, and I'm glad they're back. I really am. I just hope we can get football going soon out here.
Danny Gonzalez. What do you think of him?
Danny's my man. I saw him when he came to the pit when they announced him as a head coach.
Yeah.
I think Danny's going to really turn this place around, not only for football, but just for the community. I know you had him on a couple weeks ago, but he is definitely – he was my call. He was my wish list. You know, middle of the season, I was like, man, we need to get this guy here.
Yeah.
And when UNM announced that Bob Davie wasn't coming back, I really pushed for it. So every time I saw Eddie, the athletic director at UNM, I'm like, hey, we should get Danny. But there's a lot of Lobo people that were doing the same thing. So I think UNM and President Stokes and all of them did a really good job, great job on getting Danny here because he knows what it takes to win here. He's seen it. He's played here. He's played high school ball here. He knows what kind of talent we have here. So
And I don't know what kind of video that Jimmy has, but just to see the Lobos of that era, maybe you'll pop up here in the video. What number are we looking for?
Hit up the Utah game. So Mountain West, again, going back to that, our conference is really strong. Looking back on the 2008 season, our strength of schedule was a top 25 strength of schedule.
Wow.
And so this
are.
is against number 10 Utah, man. I bring this game up because our stadium was sold out for the most part. There was like 33,000 there. And it's been a while since the university stadium has been packed. You know, Frankie Solomon's a real good guy. He's still playing football somewhere, I think. But, you know, Frankie wasn't a big guy, but you know what? He'll hit you. And a lot of these guys on this defense were ball players. And that's what Danny's talking about. You know, there's no such thing as a soft football player.
Number 10 in the country.
Number 10, man. We took him to the wire. We lost by 3 points, I believe. But Rodney Ferguson was another guy on this team, running back from Monsanto.
Yeah.
He blew up in this game. But it's cool just seeing these TV copies. I got them last year from Paul, who works in the video room at UNM, and he said, bring me down a hard drive. I got all the TV copies, and it's just cool to see. You know what? Another thing that's cool to see is when you see the starting lineups, and you see how many kids are from New Mexico on the starting lineups.
Wow.
With Rockies teams.
Look at that
and
crowd.
Look at the crowd, man. That's insane, right? Like, primetime football in Albuquerque, it's a special place. And Coach Gonzalez talked about it. You know, you talked about Nebraska, right? Small town.
Yeah.
Why are they doing what they're doing?
Yeah.
It's one of its tradition, right? I think we're lacking a lot of tradition here in New Mexico. And to be honest, you know, I'm an Albuquerque native. I've seen some things too, Henry. I've seen some things like, you know, Holly Holm. She's doing really well. Everybody loves her. But when she loses a fight, people like turn their back really fast. And I don't understand that at all. Again, we just all need to just put in. We put in, we're going to get some big teams, you know. And, again, it goes down to the home crowd, home field advantage. That helps players play better, you know. But with this whole COVID stuff, it's sad to not have a Lobo football season this fall, but it actually helps our coaches because a lot of those players can learn the schemes. They have that much more time to learn the new defense, new offense, and to honestly just watch other teams and just be a student of the game right now.
Yeah.
You know?
You felt in those days that before that game, there was a feeling of such great confidence. You knew that there was a real good chance you could beat number 10 in the country that night. When you lose that edge, how much do you lose?
I've been a part of, well, in 2007, let's back up. 2007 was my redshirt freshman year. We won our first bowl game in 50 years with Rocky. Played against Nevada in the New Mexico Bowl. Shut out Nevada. And our team always came out ready to play. And practice was actually harder than the games. You know, a lot of coaches say that, and people probably don't believe it. But honestly, I think it is true. Practices were harder than the games. So when you got to the game, everything was just moving, smoothly like it's supposed to. But when you lose confidence, I mean, I've been a part of one of the 11 teams. It's tough. It's tough to go to class after a loss. It's tough to go to practice. It's tough to do everything. But you know what? For me, like, it's made me a better person. And again, going back to the personal life stuff, I just look at things differently because it's easy to do things when you're doing well and you're winning.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get back up day in and day out when you're losing, and you actually see who's around and who's not.
A lot of former athletes out there in our audience, they've been in the athletic fire at your level, and they will all say in their personal testimonial, they're better today because of what took place in that uniform, wherever they were at. How do you qualify that? What happens to you?
Well, I like to take the positivity out of everything, right? So, yeah, I have knee injuries twice. It kind of showed me what kind of person I am. Like, am I going to quit because I'm hurt, or am I going to come back and try to get my spot back? And I took it as that. You know, I didn't want to – I just wanted to finish everything strong. My parents told me, hey, if you're going to start this sport, you're going to finish it. But after that, you don't have to play. But there's no such thing as quitting. And I think kids nowadays – everything's kind of gotten softer, like diluted, if you will. Even football players, to be honest. I mean, you can't really coach the same, and people can't push you as hard as they used to. And I like that old school thing. And coming from a military family, I think Rocky, for me to commit to Rocky and his program, I like that old school grit. You know, we're going to fight for it. And I take that to heart, and I take that in everything I do. So it's funny, in my personal life, you know, we have LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn's like a professional Facebook. I like to have people, my competitors that I work against, I like to have them to see my LinkedIn because I feel like I'm competing. I am competing against them, but I take it a different way, like that athletic mentality, like I'm going to beat you today. I'm going to wake up before you today. I'm going to work later than you today. And so, like, it does help you propel in your professional career. You know, it's not going to stop here. Like, I want to be the CEO of a company one day.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So you have goals. I have goals. It's nice to have goals, and big lofty ones too, you know, to kind of chip away at it.
Yeah, I love that.
So
Now, presently, what are you doing? Because, you know, I look at you, I think here's a guy that if he puts his mind at anything, you'll achieve it. You have the it power. What is the it?
it is, I won't stop at nothing. I'll give it my all. Right now I work for a company called Gen X Services. It's a managed care company in the healthcare industry. And I manage New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. So I work from my home. Obviously, we're doing the COVID stuff, but I've been doing the home office stuff for the last 2 years, and I've been traveling
Flying
a lot.
everywhere.
Yeah, flying everywhere, working with insurance adjusters and trying to get us some cases for our nurse case managers, their RNs. Quick shout out real quick. If you'd like to join my team, if you're an RN, we're looking for a bilingual nurse here in Albuquerque. So if you're interested, you got your RN, your registered nurse, you want to work from home, you want to help out some injured workers, I guess they could find me on Facebook. But yeah, We work in the work comp industry, the work comp realm. So I've been doing that for the last 4 years. After I graduated college, I worked for the university for 2 years as a admissions and recruiter for the school. So, obviously I was there for 5 years. It's easy transition for me to get my professional career started.
How about coaching?
I
You're
thought
such
about
an
it, man.
articulate, up kind of a person. It would take 5 minutes to motivate an offense.
Oh.
If you, Coach Scarlett, we need you over here.
I would love it, man. It's time, I've been asked to coach for Barker's teams. Fernando Salinas is at Hope Christian right now. I like to help out every now and then. I would love to coach. I think for me, I feel like I missed the boat, but who knows? I was supposed to coach basketball for my daughter this year in March, and then the pandemic happened. So
Wow. Never say never.
never. So
Michael.
there's always time, I guess.
Amen. Well, as you move on and progress in your young life, we watch you. We're impressed with you because you're a man of, you carry that pride, man of, your dignity is strong, let's put it that way.
Appreciate it.
And a man of principle. And with a dad who's devoted his life to the country and believes in freedom, a lot of that military was passed on to you. You're a born leader because that's what he is. But the work ethic I wanted to talk to people about. And then, perfect example, you're injured. You could say, no more. Bye-bye college football career.
Mm-hmm.
But you said, no, I'm going to get well. I'm going to come back. I'm going to be a Lobo again. That's tough.
It's tough at that level too because, believe it or not, when you're injured, you don't bring any benefit to the team unless you're in the meeting room, helping out the younger guys. You're at practice. So I couldn't practice, but I was signal calling, helping the younger guys do that. But again, nobody's there watching you, especially when you're post-op of a major surgery to your knee.
What was it like being in that situation? You've got the ball in your hand. You always had it in your hand in your career. The power, that feeling, now all the eyes are on you, Michael Scarlett Jr. The feeling of say, it's on me. I got to perform.
Right.
What's that like?
It's crazy, man. Life after football, I kind of found some things to be my ball, if you will. I think first and foremost, being a husband and a father's that ball.
Amen.
Because I have 2 sets of eyes on me. But I found ways to kind of be competitive, if you will. Again, I already talked about the professional life. Play a lot of golf. J.R. Giddens, if you're out there, I'll see you later this week.
Another great Lobo.
Yeah, we'll get him on here. But
Amen.
golf is like my go-to. You don't really get hurt in golf, so. But I do miss playing football. I do miss just being around the guys, really. Being in the locker room.
I'll never forget that Mayfield game, your last high school football career. You got loose so many times because of your great speed and that versatility. Put a move on a guy.
Yeah.
Linebacker, you give him a head fake, and he goes that way, and you go this way, and then you turn on the gas.
Yeah, the burners, man. Used to have the
You
burners.
had the burner. Am I right?
Yeah, I was moving, man, but I weighed $170.
Yeah,
I
but
was
you
moving.
could fly. Just tell the audience, because they're not going to do it anymore, and I'm not going to. I did it a few times, and I'm sure many of them did. But what's it like to carry that football at your speed and running away from the field and the crowd cheering, and you get to the end zone, and that magical feeling is all over Michael Scarlett Jr. What's the feeling like?
I just can't. You just brought it all back with that description, Henry. It's crazy to think about. Football is only, on average, a football play is probably 4 seconds, right? But for those 4 seconds, it's like all eyes on you, like you said earlier. And in high school had a lot of those breakaway runs. And some of them I'm like, how the hell did you do that? You know, looking back, I'm like, how did you do that? I don't know how I did that. But it's funny. My daughter, again, she's going to be 6, and she has the balance. She has speed. She's witty. It's crazy. I want to get her in football, maybe flag football, but she's got the same moves, same everything. And just looking back on old film, man, it's cool to see. And I wonder every time we watch it with my family or even you, what were they thinking? What was everybody thinking? Like, I don't know how to explain it, Henry. It was fun, man.
You got to be a strong leader for a family during a period like this.
Yep.
What do I mean by that? You've got to lead your family to safety, inspiration, keep working hard on your schoolwork. Take the rest of it for me.
Well, my daughter just started kindergarten, and like everybody else, it's doing the homeschool stuff right now. It's tough. Luckily for me, I'm able to work from home and kind of set up my computer next to my daughter. And I split time with my ex-wife and Piper's mom, and we two platoon it, right? So I know a lot of families right now are probably in worse off positions. You know, they probably won't have internet and stuff like that. So I hope and pray that we get back to school soon, because I think for my daughter, kindergarten wasn't like this for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't in front of a screen for 8 hours or so. But I hope soon we'll have a vaccine and we'll get back to normal and we'll get back to sports here in Albuquerque and get back to life.
Speaking about real life, look at all the viewers that are joining us today because they want a part of your highlights. And there's more coming. I mean, you can't put them all up because
what's up, everybody?
There's no space. Look at all
hey,
those familiar names.
Richard Tripp, what's up, man? I want to get on the board.
See what I mean? Look at all those. Marcus Wade, another great athlete. There's so many on there right now. Wow. But all of them tuned in today. Coach Ron Maestas on the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. Randall Floyd, Sandra Rhodes, Jim Ciccarello, the track coach at La Cueva High School. He's got more track and field state championships than anybody in New Mexico history.
Crazy.
Look at all those successful people that you're charging them up today. And they're on COVID too.
Yeah.
They're doing their work at home. They want to get back and coach their team again. You've made them miss their jobs. But I'm just saying this experience for Henry T is real. Those are real people. And more than, comparable to anything I've ever done in my career. Then I go to church. I'm at the 7-Eleven. I'm driving down the street at the intersection. Henry T.
You're an icon, Henry. You really are, man. You're a staple in the community, you know.
But they're watching this show is my point.
It's because of you.
And
Not me.
Look at because of you today. Man.
Well, I'm honored and like I said, when you hit me up a couple weeks ago, I was for sure ready to go.
One of the greatest musicians in the world is Hector Pimentel of the Pimentel family that constructs all those great guitars. He's watching you today,
What's up,
man.
Hector? What's going on?
Hector, man, he's got a great wife, Carol, and man, they're musicians to the max.
That's awesome.
And we could go through more and more and more names. See, Jimmy can keep typing till his hands fall off.
Jimmy's doing a great job.
Yeah, Jimmy's sharp, and he's a Division I athlete too. So when you talk every word, he's right with you. But as we move forward, how about your future goals? What are you going to do?
Well, I had big goals for 2020.
If you don't mind,
But
it's not too private.
No, just, my with work, there's quarterly bonuses and stuff like that. I would love to do that this year, but obviously that's not a word this year. COVID, it's really, unique because what we do is our nurses go to appointments with injured workers.
Yeah.
And so if people aren't working, people aren't getting hurt, like we don't have work for our nurses. So it's like everything is just connected, right? For an economy, people, especially here in Albuquerque, let's see how many places shut down through this whole situation.
Wow.
You know, but now
Really? Literally shut down.
like done, closed.
Oh,
know?
my goodness.
So it's we'll be around. We've been around for 30 plus years, but I wouldn't. Ultimately, I just want to be a better man than I was, yesterday. I want to give it all today.
See, that's why you're here today, because you never stop being a leader. I mean, your integrity is so strong. People look at you and say, "Man, that's Michael Scarlett Jr. Let me tell you what he's done." And he's got great character. Your character always comes up. You can't help it. You set the stage of who you are, and everybody expects that of you all of the time. They talk about you, and he's a kind man. He's a humble man. And, man, he motivates us. Compliments that you get are all similar to those descriptions. What does that feel like?
To be honest, here in Albuquerque, you are always being watched. I think it's harder for the professional athletes to kind of adapt here, but for me, I'm not wearing a jersey anymore, but I stand out. I don't know why. It's been so long since I've actually played an athletic sport here in Albuquerque, but I want to pay it forward. I want to be that guy to make somebody smile. I want somebody, if they're having a bad day, because you don't know. You don't know what happened this morning. I don't know what happened to you this morning.
Yeah.
You bring that same energy, Henry. You always do. I've never seen you down and out. And everybody goes through adversity, and everybody they carry themselves differently, but I just want to carry myself, my name, my family name. I just want to carry it the right way. And I hope my daughter and hopefully more kids come soon, but I hope she carries the same way.
What do you want to say today that we haven't said? What subject matter about you, your life, do you want to share that I didn't get to today?
Well, I just hope that kids whoever's watching, if they have kids that are in high school right now, and they're looking to win a scholarship somewhere, it doesn't matter how big you are. I wasn't the biggest guy. I was fast, but I didn't like lifting weights, to be honest with you, Henry. Now I love it, but you don't have to go to a big school to be seen. There's a lot of guys in the NFL that have gone to D2, D3, and they're getting looked at just as much as D1 guy is. So kind of work hard. If you're not big, maybe you could be the smartest person on the field, and that'll help you get some playing time. Obviously, we all have coaches that we loved. I still call my coaches because they help me out in my professional life.
That's a subject matter before you go here. We're almost at the end, so you can get back to your family. The endeared name, Coach. It's like doctor. Coaches love hearing that word, coach.
There's a lot of coaches
can't think of. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Good.
Hold that thought. But I can't think of telling or saying hello to Coach Ottman and say, "Hey, Jim." No, it's Coach.
It's Coach. It's always.
If you've been in the fire, you call your ex-coaches Coach. Even the local guys like Coach Weir and
saw Coach Brown earlier.
Coach Brown, I call him Coach. You earn it.
Right.
If you want to meet someone that's never been in the fire, they'll call the coach by the first name.
It's a little weird,
Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Ottman, I see him a lot at Lobo games, and he's never coached me, but I still call him Coach.
See?
He's been a real staple in this community out here. And then Kevin, I don't call Kevin, I call him Coach Barker. He'll always be a coach to me, and I've had some adversity in my life where, you'd give them a call, and they would help you through it.
No
And
matter what
no
the
matter what,
subject matter is. Your girlfriend just broke up with you. Who do you call?
coach, parents, coach,
They're an extension
they're an extension of the
of
family.
mom and dad.
Right.
Yeah.
And going
you're
back
you're
to,
by your locker and before sixth period, and man, you didn't expect it, but your girlfriend said, "Here's your ring back. We're not
ooh,
going steady any longer."
that hurts.
Is it hurt?
That hurts, man.
And if you get that surprised on game night, how do you shake it off? Coach Ottman, I have a problem. Come here, help me.
Yeah.
No matter what it was, you could take it to coach.
Coach is, it was a safe haven, felt like you could tell them anything. And I don't think a lot of kids and players know that about the coaches. Like they're there to help mold you as a young man or a young woman, and they're there for positive support. That's where they're put in those positions. So,
Yeah. Well, I threw you off base there, but
no, you're good.
before we go, is there something you really want to say on behalf of your family, your teammates, Rocky, to our community that's always burning in your heart?
Yeah, my big thing right now is please go support Lobo football. I know with the transition of a new head coach, it's tough because we've been through quite a bit of them in the last 15 years. But I do know this with my whole heart that Danny Gonzalez and staff are really going to push for this school. What we need to do as fans is be there at games. Honestly, tickets, if you go to Oklahoma for a football game, one ticket's $110.
One.
Season tickets for UNM football is like $120 for a family of four. Like, you can't beat that. 6 games,
Wow.
So in order for these guys to do well, we gotta support them. Obviously they're gonna put a great product on the field. You heard it from Coach G himself. These guys are working hard. I don't think a lot of people realize how hard college athletes work.
Yeah.
From 6 a.m. to 8, 9
No,
p.m.
Their
Study
hours
hall,
are incomparable.
weightlift, everything. School on top of school. So we just, as a community, we need to just support our school in all phases. In all phases. Every sport. Track and field. Coach Franklin, shout out to you, man. Wonderful program. Cross country, national champions.
Is that amazing?
That's crazy. We have a
Now
lot.
that's painful. How do you run that far every day?
You're asking the wrong guy, man. But
Michael Scarlett
yeah,
Jr., what an honor to have you in here today.
thanks for having me, man.
Yeah,
It's an
you
honor for
pump
me.
me up. I feel like Shadow. Look at the names keep coming. Rodasi, oh, she
Thanks for
really
joining, guys.
athlete. Angela, Kevin Going, the family. I loved them. Look at all these people. Bobby Clothier, coach at Wagon Mound. James Glover, George Perea, Adriana Martinez, Goodland joined. Coach Cofino, man, he's an inch away from being an NBA coach.
Yeah.
He coached in the CBA. He coached the Thunderbirds here.
Yes. Did JR play for him? What year was that?
He's from New York. He can't talk like this. I'm a Yankee. What's the big deal? Forget about it. That's John Cofino.
What's up, Coach?
Great guy. Say hi to John, man.
What's up, Johnny?
James Luskin, man.
This is fun, man.
Isn't this cool?
This is fun.
This is real TV.
That's awesome. I like being in front of the camera, man.
Yeah, you're natural for it, see? Good-looking guy, articulate. Come on, TV guys, get this man on your staff.
I'm a SAG member. Got 2 movie credits for stunts, man.
Really?
So, haven't done a movie in a while. It's been 4 years. But I was in the first movie I did was I didn't get a credit for it, but I was a extra for the Avengers. And then I got my first credit in a Steven Seagal movie with Ving Rhames.
Steven Seagal, the guy that beats everybody up.
Yeah, I was on his team in this movie, but I get beat up by Ving Rhames in that movie. It's called
really?
Force of Execution.
You actually
Only
had to
6
fall
bucks on
down?
Amazon. I get thrown into a car, Henry.
Really?
Yeah. And then the last movie I did was Shot Caller, which is on Amazon. I think it's on Netflix now. But I had a fight scene with John Bernthal, the Punisher, but then they cut it out of the movie. But I still got the movie
Wow.
credit. So
Did
it
you
was
beat
fun.
him up?
No, I got beat up again. I'm a
Really?
stunt guy, man.
You're an
You know,
actor.
the
That's
stunt
right,
guys
man.
get smoked. But hopefully there's something soon coming in the mix, especially after this the COVID and pandemic stuff lifts up. We have a lot of things going on
Hey,
here.
when they do the life story of O.J. Simpson, you'll be the extra that
I think
is
they're
running
over people.
and flying over those seats at the airport
Yeah.
because of your speed, your agility.
You know what? I forgot a movie that I did too. I didn't get a credit for it, but it's Stargirl. It's a Disney movie. It's on Disney Plus. They put me at D Lyman for a couple shots. in the
Really,
movie. Yeah, it was fun.
uniform and everything.
Yeah, man. I felt great. Like, I didn't start lifting weights till about 10 years ago. And I had to shave my beard off. I had a beard like this big.
Yeah, I saw the
And
photo.
I had to look 18. But you got a football helmet on, so that was good. That was a fun movie to do. We did that out in Valencia, and we did it out in Moriarty. So
Hey, when we play golf, go to the garage and get your football helmet out. Okay, 'cause
I almost wore it. It's
my
got a little,
drive gets a little crazy.
it's got a little face mask on it, so I should be wearing that instead of one of these masks here. I should be wearing my football helmet, but
Hey,
gotta be
you.
safe.
Friend to a friend, you came out of your way today
No problem,
to
man.
do the Henry T. Show.
Anything for Henry T.
Thank
You're
you.
the man.
And all those people that
You
joined.
still joining?
Man, we're like 1,000 people a day that watch this show.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
You'll be signing autographs this afternoon.
No, it's not worth much.
Scar,
Man.
what a joy.
Thanks again, man.
And
Thanks for having me.
Jimmy, thank you, man.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy Tran, don't forget that name.
Yeah, he's back here mixing it up, typing. He's got like 50 screens back here.
I know one guy that can outrun you. You're fast.
He's got me. Bro.
Jimmy Tran, Division I track athlete
He's lean.
at
He's a lean.
UC
mean fighter champ.
Irvine.
You want to race? I'm just kidding. Put that on Facebook Live. I'm not gonna.
I want to be there to record that.
I'm gonna
It'll
pull a
take
hamstring,
9
Henry.
seconds.
I'm gonna pull a hamstring or something.
Oh,
That's why I play golf.
well, thank you to all the viewers out there.
I'd like to get together and form a fraternity of former college athletes. That would be. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Put together a fraternity like that. Yeah, once we can go out and have a beer together. Yeah.
Amen. And we got sponsors for this show. Amistoy Drywall. You got to meet Pierre Amistoy and his family. All the kids are athletes.
Awesome.
All of them went to college, just like you, to be a Division I athlete or Division II in soccer. I forgot which one of them is. But Amistoy, quality. They'll build you a home. They'll make an addition to your home. They're the drywall family for years and years and years. And Pierre, the family's into horse racing, quarter horse racing
That's awesome.
at Ruidoso. They're the King Kong daddios of that
Just
kind
left
of
Rio-
racing.
I was in Rio Dosa this last weekend. It's nice down there.
Really?
Yeah, super
Isn't that
nice.
beautiful?
Yeah, it was. There was deer everywhere.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, man. It was awesome.
I love driving through there, man. And then Indigo Mortgage. Yeah. Ben Lucero. He went to Mayfield. All state, football, baseball, basketball, and a high jumper. Ben Lucero, Indigo Mortgage. When you buy your next home, you got to at least inquire on Ben
I don't
Lucero.
know, man. He's a Mayfield guy, but props out to Indigo.
Oh,
Mortgage.
he's a good guy. Came in this close to going to the Olympic Games with Missouri. It's a dramatic story, man. He'll cry every time he tells me it. But he came within inches to go to represent the United States at the Olympic Games at the University of Missouri. So he's a story. Kevin out at the canteen, putting all that delicious food on all the high school campuses, and he's praying for the COVID to disappear because no kids on campus right now.
Not eating,
So then the Hydro Bar, you tried the water a few minutes ago.
Hey, it's good, man.
You like it?
They're gonna hook me up with a couple bags when I leave, so
Wow.
I'm gonna try it out this week.
Your family's going to love it.
Yeah, I liked it, man. I loved
I'll
it.
tell you.
Stay
Well, next-
hydrated.
Is that great? We already toasted and everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, then we have Everguard Roofing. Great guy. Man, he put your roof together like never before. and he watches this show and supports Henry T. But thank you to our sponsors. Thank you again to Jimmy Tran, Michael Scarlett Jr. Woo! He could fly. He could throw. He could catch. Never left the field. Is that amazing? How good do you have to be to get that description? Never left the field. I say, Michael, what would you ever set the bench? No, not really. What's it like? He doesn't kick the extra points, whatever the coach wanted. He was there.
Great times, man. Great times.
Aren't they? We'll do this again.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
You got to get JR on here, though. We'll bring him out.
Yeah.
We'll bring him out. He's a coach at up north, the community college.
All right, give him my card, okay?
I will.
Let's see, I got to give you a card first so you can give it to him. I got one out.
Oh, there it is. Boom.
There's the Henry T card.
Thank you, sir.
Take care of that.
We will.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for joining and reuniting Henry T with superstar athlete Michael Scarlett Jr. Happily married. He's got a beautiful wife.
Yeah, I got lucky.
And children. Wow.
I got lucky, man. I got really lucky with Becca.
Hey, describe your family before we go.
They are amazing. I think I count myself as an old soul. I always wanted to be a dad and a father, or a father and a husband. And Rebecca, she's a nurse, so she's about caretaking and being kind and taking care of people, and she does a wonderful job with my daughter. She's a stepmom to my daughter Piper, but she's amazing. Hoping to give her a little baby here soon, but right now we're just hanging out as a three wolf pack. So we're enjoying it.
That's a perfect way to end the show today with your family.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
See you soon, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Boom.
That's it for today. We'll be back on Wednesday, and it's going to be hard to top this interview because Scarlett brings it all. So we'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll have another good time. To all you people, man, we fill up the screen. Jimmy, your hands are going to fall off typing that much. We'll see you Wednesday. Have a great day, and Tuesday, too, and we'll see you on Wednesday at 11 a.m. or thereabouts. Henry T. saying bye for now. Take care. Oh, by the way, before we go, can we change that call against Dallas last night? Was that interference? No way. How about the way they're changing? You can't even breathe on
you can't touch anybody.
On a wide receiver these days.
It'd be a good time to be a wide receiver, though.
Yeah. But, man, do they protect them.
Right. Quarterbacks, too. Can't really touch those guys.
But these defenders, or vice versa, yesterday it was the reverse. The defender really should have been called for interference, in my humble opinion. Dallas needed that long first down to go win that game. Oh, man, great throw, great catch. And the defender, you got away with it.
Yeah, at least they had a playing clock, though, right?
Yeah, at least they had a clock. See you later. It's been fun. We'll have some football commentary coming in the near future. See you soon. Take care.
That was fun, man.